Let's go from solid to sad. Lambeau Field. Kirk Cousins playing probably the best football of his career. And to the point where we're not even talking about Kirk Cousins being a problem in primetime. I mean, he took it to the 49ers without Justin Jefferson. He and Jordan Addison did a lot of the heavy lifting. They were whipping up on the Packers. And then in the fourth quarter, non-contact injury, Achilles injury, and he's done for the year. I mean, the trade deadline's, as we speak, is going to be in a few hours. It's going to end at 4 p.m. But this happened on Sunday. So let me take you back. So let's say you're sitting there at Lambeau Field in the suite at 2 p.m. local time, 2:30 p.m. local time when he tears his Achilles. What's the first thing you're doing as general manager with the trade deadline 48 hours away?
Throwing up.
Because you drafted Jaron Hall in the 5th round. He's 25 years old, has experience. That's part of the reason they liked him. He's a good athlete. I liked him at BYU better than you did. Had a terrible Senior Bowl. I don't know if he's injured, whatever. He didn't have a great preseason as well. They have Nick Mullen on the practice squad, who's coming off IR.
Mullen's on IR, and Sean Mannion's on the practice squad.
Okay. Mullins comes off IR week 9, I think. And then Sean Mannion, again, they're all
journeyman.
They're all right. They're all this variations of the same person. I think if you were pressing me, I would start Nick Mullins if he was healthy, just because he has the experience. I think he has 17 career starts. 5 of those might be wins. I have to double check. But after you get done throwing up, are you calling another team about a potential veteran? Andy Dalton, for example? Case Keenum?
No, you're getting through the game. You're getting the final report, after the game on what the doctors are anticipating. And then you're going back to the facility that night, probably gathering up with the coach, with your personnel department, with the ownership on what is the direction we're going to go. And it's a shame because the Vikings can seriously be maybe 6-2 right now, 7-1 if they didn't throw away the games they threw away earlier in the season.
And they were getting better.
And they were getting better because the defense is playing better and they're not turning the ball over and giving the games away. And you have a quarterback who was playing it lights out and was carrying that team while they're waiting for Justin Jefferson to come back.
Hey, can I ask you this?
Yep.
I said this on HQ over the weekend. I said Kirk Cousins was the best player on that team, with the understanding that Justin Jefferson is also on that team, because when Justin went down, again, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, Jordan Addison stepped up. You can't lose Kirk Cousins and have Jordan Addison as the quarterback, that version of him, step up, because he doesn't exist. That's how good I thought Kirk Cousins was playing.
Yeah, and that's why it was interesting that Justin Jefferson didn't sign his extension, because he wants to see what they do at quarterback. So they have some very, very hard decisions to make. Let me give you the GM hat. Okay, you know the situation you're dealing with. Right now, you're the 7th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, 4-4.
You just lost your quarterback, who's been carrying your football team. You have Justin Jefferson coming back. Your defense is playing lights out. Do you go and try to make a trade for somebody? And how much improved is that going to be from just sticking with the guys that you have? They know Jaron Hall better than we know him, because they've been around him at practice and watched him at practice every day. He came in and was, as Debo said, he went, 3 quarters for 23 yards and a lost fumble. So that it didn't say 3 for 4; it said 3 quarters. Just off Debo's note.
I was wondering if that's how they said it in the league.
Debo, he went 3 quarters. Is that like 3 quarters of a throw, or what is that?
Oh, I see. The software changed it for him. Oh, I see what you're looking at. I can't even get mad at you for that. I thought you were just reading it incorrectly. Yeah, he went 3 or 4.
Jeez, okay, Debo. I didn't know how to take that.
You're not getting a Hallmark shirt, by the way. All right, here's what I'm doing, Rick.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, okay.
Or just say, and you have to have these discussions. Okay, let's just blow this thing up. Let's trade Danielle Hunter. Let's trade Justin Jefferson.
You can't. You're 4-4.
I'm just asking you. Do you just blow it up, get all these potential first-round picks, and then go up and get Caleb Williams as your future quarterback next year, or Drake May?
No, you know good and well that you can't. You're smirking. You can't plan for the future by. So here's the thing. I'll put that on the list of options. But here's what I'm doing. Let's see what I'll call Houston and offer him a 5th-round pick for Case Keenum.
Okay.
Now, if you're Nick
Okay, let
Caesar,
me just tell you how hard it is for a quarterback to learn French to English and how long that takes.
it's a different system too when he was there too.
Yes.
But I mean, all right, I get it. Okay, well let me turn the tables on you. You'll be my assistant GM for this conversation. All right. Well, how long will it take Case to get up to speed? Because you were the GM when he was there. I came in recently as the nepotism hire, we'll say. So you have to answer to me. Oh, what a world. Case obviously led that team in 2017 to, what'd you guys go, 13-3?
Yeah, NFC Championship game before
Yeah.
we went down to Debo's Eagles.
Yeah, so 13 wins, and no one saw it coming. He got a big contract out of it to go play for the Broncos after that. How long is that going to take to get up to speed, knowing Case Keenum like you do, versus Jaron Hall, has played 15 snaps?
Well, that's very difficult. Even when we we're forced to make the trade with Sam Bradford because
Yeah,
that was right before the season, and you had 8 days to get him, 8 or 9 days to get him ready for the opener. That gave you some time, but it still was dummied down. You can put segments of the system in and what he can function in, but you can't throw him the whole damn offensive scheme. It's impossible to learn
right.
everything. And you're having a translator out there, or he's trying to translate learning. Not so much the concepts are kind of the same, it's the language.
Right.
So we called it this in Philly, we call it here in Minnesota.
Hey,
And so
can I ask you a question, sort of a logistical question? But what if you just put it on the wristband? Is all right, call play 4.
yeah, no, it's totally different because
Okay.
there's a lot of nuances in between. I've said overall the global view is pretty similar,
Yeah.
but there's so many nuances that are in between.
And then
So
there's the
what's
different
the
teams have different rules or whatever.
yeah, it's okay. Well, where's my hot read? Well, in this
Yeah.
system it was over here, in this system it's
Gotcha.
over here.
All right. So you got to roll with Jaron Hall.
Not only you can learn the play, but you have to know what everybody's doing.
Yeah. So I'm
So
hearing you got to roll with Hall, Mannion, or Mullins is what I'm hearing.
unless you go out and get someone who's familiar with the system.
Kevin O'Connell, what I don't know his coaching tree. Do you know where he?
No, I'm just like I read somewhere that Colt McCoy was in, and I believe they were
Okay,
together in Washington.
Colt McCoy is an improvement over Nick Mullins. I shouldn't have hesitated. That's clear. I think that's clear. Okay. All right. Yeah. Terrible situation.
Yeah,
I'm not down on Colt McCoy. I'm down on the fact they
no,
lost.
and I did text Kirk yesterday and got a really nice response back. Just wishing him
That's the other thing.
well,
He is.
he is the nicest human being. There is not a kid that I've ever been around that is so strong in his faith, so strong in his family values and his relationship with his wife and his kids, so strong in his work ethic to try to get himself not only physically but mentally prepared, how hard he studies. There's no one I've ever been around that's been so, I would almost say, obsessed in making sure he's doing everything right.
And I was going to say he's a lot tougher than people give him credit for. Like he throws his body around, and it's clear.
He hasn't missed a he never missed a game till
That's
this.
right.
The only time he missed with us is when we held him because we
For
had the
COVID.
playoffs locked up. No, we had a COVID, and then we had the playoffs locked in week 17.
That's
The
right.
Chicago Bears came in, and there was not a meeting, so we sat them because the game didn't mean anything. We were locked.
Who played quarterback for that game?
I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, but the toughness, because I would give Kurt a hard time over the years when he would throw the ill-timed interception in the fourth quarter in prime time. But this year, I've had nothing to say about the way he's played. And like I said, he was the best player on that team, and I don't even
The
think that.
last 2 years, I mean, I think Kevin O'Connell's done a phenomenal job with him.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know this, but I was reading up on it after the injury. Kevin O'Connell is also a quarterback. Like he was a private quarterbacks coach,
Right.
through his journey, so he has a sense. In addition to being a quarterback through coming up and getting drafted and all that, he has a sense for what exactly the job entails and what it looks like. So knowing all that, maybe that's why they're not rushing out to go get anyone, because he knows for various reasons throughout his journey that this is not something you can just flip a switch and roll someone out there. And Andy Dalton out there, for example, and just pick up where he left off.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
Okay, GM. So you're saying blow the whole thing up, get a bunch of first round picks, and go get Caleb Williams?
I think I'm going to roll with Nick Mullins. He comes off week 9. The problem is now, oh my gosh. So now I got to roll with Jaron Hall this week because he can't come off. Nick Mullins can't come off till week 9. Trade deadline's passed. So now I'm screwed. So I got to make the decision now.
Yeah. And the only positive out of this, I always try to look for the glass
Yeah, what
half,
is it?
is that it happened before the trade line. What if this happened next week?
Do teams know if they know you're selling? They have a sense that you're selling. Will they lowball you for Daniil Hunter though, and then you're stuck having to trade him for a fourth round pick?
No, you don't have to force the Neil Hunter trade.
Okay.
You know, you got a third eventually coming, probably in a compensatory pick. But they will be hardballing you if you're trying to go get one of their quarterbacks.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm not quitting on the season. I'm going to roll Jaron Hall out there this week, Nick Mullins when he's healthy, and then I'm going to re-sign Kirk. And that way you re-sign Justin. And even though you say Kirk's 42 years old, he's only 35. So he's got plenty of time left.
Okay, here's the other thing that I'll say is that he's coming off an Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Just like Aaron Rodgers is coming off an Achilles. The one thing about Kirk is that I understand he's 35 and I understand it's an Achilles injury, but he's never been a scrambler anyway. And what makes him so great is that he is a pocket passer that stands in there, throws with anticipation, throws with tremendous accuracy. So I don't know if this will have as big of effect on a quarterback than if it was someone that relied on his legs to make plays.
Yeah. And even though Aaron Rodgers is primarily behind the line of
Yeah,
scrimmage
but I'm
player.
just saying, like, let's say you had a Lamar Jackson
Right.
or someone who is playing at a high level, but they also make a lot of plays with their legs.
Yep.
But Kirk, I don't know, since he is a pocket passer anyway, how big of an effect this will have on his future going forward.
All right, one last question, then we'll move on because we spent a lot of time on that. I think it's worth it, but I don't want to keep you all day. You know you have important things to do. If you're Kirk or his agent, would you sign a 2-year deal worth whatever the going rate is? 2-year $80 million deal, a 2-year $90 million deal, or is the 2-year, do you want more than that?
Well, I don't know what the dynamics were, why they didn't sign him
Oh, okay.
after the season. So I don't know. I don't think they have hard feelings, but the thing I'm worried about is why didn't Justin Jefferson sign his contract extension when he wanted to? And I know his relationship with Kirk. Justin Jefferson's a great player, but he has a pretty good quarterback thrown to him to give him
Yeah.
the opportunity to be a great player. Is Justin
Man.
Jefferson the same with Jaron Hall thrown to him?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll
He's,
see how this unfolds. Stinks.
yeah,
Kirk, the Vikings, they were right back in it.